Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Alumni Award ceremony during homecoming weekend. I'm Ann Ganaway, and I serve as the Executive Director of Advancement. One quick housekeeping note, if you haven't heard already, if you haven't already done so, would you please mute your microphone and disable your video to ensure the best quality presentation for all. We want to thank you for participating in our virtual homecoming events this year. We appreciate your willingness to celebrate remotely, and we look forward to welcoming you back in the future. As you've likely heard, our president, Mr. Joan Lashinsky, will be retiring in August of 2021 after serving us for 14 years. We're honored to have her here with us today at today's event. I'm going to turn this over to Sister Joan. Sister?
Thank you very much, Ann. And thank you, Ann, and all your staff for putting on these virtual events for our homecoming weekend. Right now, I'd like to welcome you to the 2020 Alumni Award ceremony for the College of Health and Human Services, the College of Arts and Sciences, and the College of Business. Typically, of course, homecoming is a time, as Ann said, when we welcome many alumni back to campus. Although we cannot meet in person this year, we can still celebrate our connection to St. Ambrose and, more importantly, recognize the achievements of our alumni. Today, we will honor the successes of 6 of our alumni who serve as examples of what one can do with an Ambrose education. Our mission of enriching lives is reflected in all of our majors and programs. The evidence of this is found in the great things our alumni accomplish every year. Each of our college deans will be introducing her college awards and turning it over to the faculty who nominated the Alumni Award recipient. In turn, each honoree will have an opportunity to give an acceptance response. If we were in person, of course, we'd now be applauding our alumni recipients. So please feel free to use the chat function to offer your congratulations individually as the ceremony continues on. And with that, I'd like to turn the program over now to Dr. Sandy Cassidy, Vice President of Strategic Initiatives and Dean of the College of Health and Human Services. Sandy?
Thank you, Sister. The College of Health and Human Services prepares creative and critically thinking professionals through innovative programs in the health sciences, human services, and education. Through our focus on academic excellence and community-based service, our dedicated students gain skills that make them well prepared for careers in a variety of settings. Our alumni are recognized as leaders in the field and advocates for social justice in their communities. Our award recipients have shown a commitment in serving others and respecting the inherent worth and dignity and human rights of all individuals. The college is excited to recognize 2 of our alumni, and presenting these awards will be Melissa Scher, Assistant Professor and Director of the Master of Public Health Program, and Ann Garten, Associate Professor and Director of the Institute for Person-Centered Care. Melissa?
Thank you, Sandy. John Bowser was a graduate of St. Ambrose in 2002 with a marketing degree, and he went on to get his Ph.D. in population health, which is public health, which is the department that I run. Dr. John Bowser's entrepreneurial spirit, his commitment to science, and his record of service are all reasons why the MPH program, myself and Dr. Colleen Doak, nominated him for this Alumni Award. During my first month on this job in September of 2017, John found my email and cold called me. He was excited to learn that St. Ambrose was creating an MPH program, noting he saw it on his Facebook feed, and he said, if Ambrose is starting an MPH program, I want in and I want to be a part of the effort. This has proven to be true since that fateful call we had in 2017. His added value hustle has only continued and increased since 2017. His ability to catalyze connections, his problem-solving nature continue to be his norm. He sees a need and he acts. In 2018, he became a member of the SAU College of Health and Human Service Alumni Board. And when COVID hit in March 2019, he was the first faculty member to suggest that we provide public domain lectures to answer burning questions for the larger community. As the data and evidence on social distancing, masking, and hand hygiene became more and more clear, he developed a lecture for the incoming freshman summer course that shared the hard evidence, the science around the B promise. John's current skill set and his actions represent the best of St. Ambrose University, the best of St. Ambrose University's marketing alumni, and the best of public health. I speak for the program when I say, John, we are privileged to know you, and we are grateful that you continue to give to St. Ambrose via your teaching in the MPH program. Thank you for your service and dedication to St. Ambrose. Thank you. John, I'd like to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate the kind words. At the risk of this turning into an Oscars acceptance speech, I do want to say my thank yous. Thank you to my wife, Jen, and my kids who came home early from school to join me. Thank you for allowing me to really dive into this work. It ends up being Disney money, so we all benefit, but thank you. My parents, who I believe are listening in, so thank you for sending me to St. Ambrose. But of course to my colleagues in the MPH program, Melissa, Kleine, Kate, and of course the students that I'm fortunate enough to be involved with in teaching. But then also I am an alum, so I want to make sure I thank, the faculty who made such an impression on me. So Corey Johnson in the theater program, Carl Herzig as English professor, Dave Baker at KALA, who let me on the air for some reason. But then also my friends, Lou and Aaron and Kinu and Jeremy for all their inspiration. And I want to make sure that I mention them because the lessons that they provided and the friendships that they gave me really sustained my relationship with St. Ambrose until I was fortunate enough to come into the MPH program. And it's truly a labor of love. I enjoy every minute of it. And, I tell my students that, public health is about carrying the flag of social justice. And that's more important now than ever. But being an Ambrosian is also about carrying that same flag. So it's a perfect relationship. Proud to be part of it. I came aboard on year 2 of the program. I hope to be here at year 20. So with that, I will say thank you, be well, and be excellent to each other.
Thanks, John, and congrats. My name is Ann Garton, and I will be introducing to you our next recipient, and that is Anabel Flaherty. Anabel attended St. Ambrose University during the partnership with the Mercy Hospital Nursing Program to support a BS in nursing. The nursing students at that time lived within the dorm at Mercy Hospital, and as Anabel shares, they would have a great time walking or at times being picked up by the gentleman to get to class on campus. Even as a student, she shined and was named Miss Nursing Student. I recently spoke with Anabel to get a sense of what student life was like back then. She shared her fond memories of swimming in the pool on campus and spending time in the beehive. However, most of her memories are of Dr. Vinji, Father Rice, and Sister Bridget, who influenced how she would practice nursing throughout her career. Sister Bridget had spearheaded the program at SAU and was a trailblazer by encouraging the National League of Nursing to support a BS in nursing. In the 70s, Anabel returned to school and earned not 1 but 2 master's degrees, and as a result, she sat for her nurse practitioner boards. There's a bit of debate between herself and a close peer. Each says the other was the first licensed nurse practitioner in the state of Iowa. Either way, Anabel was a trailblazer. Her focus over the next 61 years of her career, psychiatric nursing. Just like Sister Bridget, she became a leader in her profession. Throughout her career, Anabel has demonstrated the value of hard work, a belief in science, integrity, and above all, the God-given dignity in every person. Anabel has had a long and remarkable career at Mercy Hospital, 40 years at Vera French Mental Health Center, and culminated her service in private practice. She is also well acquainted with the suffering of those disadvantaged within our community as an active supporter of the Humility Homes and Services. During the pandemic, Anabel took it in stride and saw her patients via telemed. Many of her generation avoids technology, but not Anabel. She found that she could still provide the necessary services to those with mental health needs during a difficult time. She also recently volunteered and shared her expertise in practicing person-centered care on a podcast for our own Institute for Person-Centered Care. Anabel has spent her life work being devoted to making the world a better and kinder place. As a fellow nurse, and I speak for my peers, I would like to thank her for her work in our profession of nursing and congratulate her for being recognized as one of the SAU 2020 Distinguished Alum. Congrats, Anabel.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate that. I am both thrilled and honored to accept the award. St. Ambrose has always been a part of my life. 4 generations of my family have been associated in some way with the university. It's an integral part of my family's story, something of which I'm very proud. One of my fondest memories of childhood involved St. Ambrose. In the early 50s, our uncle, Father H.J. Torr, or as we knew him, Uncle Toke, took my sister and me to the Beehive. We knew he was a priest, and we knew that was important. He was a quiet, unassuming man, so at the time, we didn't understand that he was the vice president of the college. It was a Sunday night, and the Beehive was closed. He took us behind the counter, showed us where the ice cream was, and told us we could have whatever we wanted. We filled our dishes with ice cream and had as many toppings as we wanted to experience. I noticed that he didn't pay for it, but I wasn't too worried about that. As I was concluding high school, it was time to decide what I wanted to do with my life. My parents instilled in me that we have a responsibility to serve and to try to make the world a better place. My friends wanted to be nurses, and that sounded good to me. My parents researched nursing schools in Iowa and learned that the University of Iowa ranked very high, as well as St. Ambrose. Our Catholic faith was always very important, so choosing St. Ambrose for my post-secondary path was a natural fit. It was demanding, yet a fun experience. The Beehive was as much fun then as it was when I was a child eating ice cream behind the counter. St. Ambrose launched me on a career that I loved. I worked very hard. My experience at St. Ambrose helped me develop a strong work ethic and a love of learning. I discovered that the harder you work, the more rewarding and fulfilling life can be. This is something I have tried to instill in my children. As I look back on those days, I recall being one of Sister Bridget's nurses. That meant we were expected to do well. I recall taking anatomy and physiology and then microbiology with Dr. Vinci and Father Rice. Those were very challenging courses, but they were so supportive of us and wanted us to do well. Father Struve was a kindly religion teacher, and he told us that we already knew what we were supposed to do. Trust your training, he said, and do the next right thing. I am proud to be an Ambrosian. My father graduated from there, as did my sister, 2 sons, and 2 grandsons. St. Ambrose not only provided appropriate coursework, but instilled in us what social justice looks like. Our shared responsibility to make the world fairer for all, regardless of background. Father Mott, Father Dawson, and the O'Connors were intellectual and spiritual giants, and I had the opportunity to learn from them. What a blessing. Again, I say to you, for this honor, thank you. But more importantly, thank you for providing me with the foundation I needed to be able to help when called upon to do so.
Congratulations, John and Anabel. We're very proud to have you as our alumni. Now we're going to move on to the Alumni Awards for the College of Arts and Sciences. Paula?
So first I want to say congratulations to John and Anabel, well deserved. So I'm Paula McNutt, and I serve as the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Arts and Sciences is central to the instruction, research, and mission of St. Ambrose University. We provide students with the insights and values of a classical liberal arts education. Our graduates have the intellectual curiosity, skills, and dispositions needed to meet the challenges of today's world. It is an honor to recognize 2 Alumni Award recipients. Presenting their awards are Tad Ritnick, Professor of Philosophy, and Chris Reno, University Curator and Gallery Director for the Art Department. And so just ahead of time, congratulations to Dylan and Rosalind. Tad?
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy to do this. We've recommended Dylan a couple times, and he's still been active. So when we think of what makes someone a distinguished alum, we have to consider what values make that person distinct. It's clear that in our current world, those values tend to be personal prosperity. Of course, the idea of personal prosperity is not in itself a value, and we at St. Ambrose are happy to talk about distinction in terms of what best develops the common good. It is only in this sense, I think, that Dylan Parker is our distinguished alum. So as a Rock Island alderman, Parker has not only donated his salary, but has also worked to promote a rethinking of values in the Quad Cities. It should be noted that Parker's election was remarkable in at least 2 ways. As a proud member of Democratic Socialists of America, Parker's support for the values of laborers is unassailable. In addition, Parker's election as a millennial is what I hope is the beginning of a change in the character of our representative democracy, when younger generations are providing an appropriate challenge to the values of the older generations. Dylan Parker earned distinction as a philosophy major at St. Ambrose University, and we are proud of what he has done to live out the values of peace and justice in the local and even national community.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope so. Thank you very much for the kind words there, Tad. I think simply judging from the video feed, the length of hair perhaps is also a distinguishing feature of the philosophy students at St. Ambrose and around the world perhaps. But wanted to thank everybody for the Emerging Alumni Leader Award. Paula, all of the faculty and staff with the College of Arts and Sciences, and also congratulations to all of the other award recipients here this afternoon. As the 32-year-old Emerging Alumni Award recipient, you all give me things to aspire to with your distinguished careers, so congratulations to all of you. I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, a lifelong Quad citizen. And even before going to college at Ambrose, I spent a lot of time there. I want to give a shout out to my mom, Lori Parker, in the occupational therapy department. I know she's watching, and my grandfather also worked at St. Ambrose, Howard Murfield, in the maintenance department for many years. So Ambrose has been a part of my life for a long time, even before going to college there. I graduated in the winter of 2010. after getting a Bachelor's of Arts in Philosophy, a Bachelor's of Science in Behavioral Neuroscience, and a minor in Peace and Justice Studies. So right there you have sort of the arts and the sciences together. I currently work for a nonprofit organization called the Indiana-Illinois-Iowa Foundation for Fair Contracting. It's a public policy advocacy organization. And as Tad mentioned, in the spring of 2017, at 28 years of age, I was elected to Rock Island City Council. And it has been a wide and winding, long road since 2010 when I graduated from Ambrose. Probably to nobody's surprise, this philosophy major has sort of explored the nooks and crannies of life. After getting my academic education, I decided to completely turn face, and I worked on an organic farm. I learned how to milk goats and grow crops, and then I worked on the Mississippi River for a few seasons there as a barge deckhand. That is quite possibly the most salt of the earth experience one can experience here in the Quad Cities, if not in the world. And then after that, I worked for a number of years before my current employment as a diesel mechanic. I spent a lot of years in shops working on semi-trucks. So perhaps not the expected career path after graduating from St. Ambrose, but I really think that the impact and the things that I learned at Ambrose prompted me to sort of find that winding path. While at Ambrose, I was involved in a number of organizations that I really had a great opportunity to explore extracurricular things, Green Life, the environmental group. I started an anti-war organization on campus. That was 2010, so Iraq and Afghanistan were much more in the headlines. And I think for those who were on campus in 2010, there were plenty of banners that I would hang out of windows and causing all sorts of ruckus. So sorry for all of the annoyance that I might have caused. But Ambrose really fostered that sense of social justice and activism that I have clearly continued with my life. The philosophy, the College of Arts and Sciences really instilled a sense of wonder and curiosity and unwillingness to accept things as the way they are and to keep asking why, perhaps. I think that education and values that were instilled in me at Ambrose were part of the reason that as a mechanic, I was heavily involved in unionization efforts on the shop floor. Learning about the Catholic social justice history in Latin America or the Catholic worker movement in the United States while at Ambrose certainly was greatly impactful. And then, of course, after recently, I've been more involved in actually running for political office and being involved in the electoral process. And so, like Tad said, in 2017, I ran for Rock Island City Council and succeeded. I got 68% of the vote, and so I continue to be humbled to have the opportunity to serve my constituents in Rock Island. I am active in a number of organizations like the Democratic Socialists of America, NAACP, and different labor organizations. Just in conclusion, I try my best to live up to the values of St. Ambrose today in everything that I do, from political activism to elected representation. I really appreciate the award that has been shared with me today. I hope I can live up to the standards that Ambrose instilled in me. And again, congratulations to everybody today, and everybody have a good homecoming week. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Chris, you're up.
Thank you, Dylan. Congratulations. My name is Chris Reno, and I am very pleased to introduce Rosalind Wilcox. Rosalind was born in Chicago, and she's a former Quad citizen. She is a visual artist. She's also the chair of the department at Oklahoma Community College in Salem, Mississippi. Rosalind explores within her life, something she calls the red blues of art. She uses a wide variety of paint, ceramics, and sculpture, and she uses it to capture the places and faces of her family and her community. Legally blind, artist. Rosalind always often working from photographs. In addition, she's always a singer, percussionist, and guitarist. The name she performed at the Ambrose last February in Madison Hall. It was a packed crowd, and it was one of the last events that we had in the art before. And it was really clearly in mind the warm evening. I'm so glad it happened. There was enormous love and energy in the room that night, and thanks again for coming. Rosalind Wilcox is passionate in arts, music, fine arts education, art therapy, and art and cultural history. She earned an MFA from the University of Mississippi, a master's degree from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and the bachelor's degree from St. Ambrose. If you'd like to see some of her work, you can check it out at her website, Wilcox Arts. She also has a Facebook page. You want to search for her there. Anyway, congratulations, Rosalind Wilcox.
So, Rosalind, do you want to have some remarks for us?
Sure. I'm here. I was just checking to see. Okay. I'll go ahead. So I just want to thank everyone who came out to hear us talk about our lives. And the first people that I wanted to thank was St. Ambrose itself for being there. It was always a college that was in our community. It's right down the street from where I grew up on Pershing and Locust. We were located right next to Burke's Cleaners. So I used to walk past St. Ambrose as a teenager. I went to Davenport Central, and I absolutely enjoyed, we called it the castle, the Red Castle on the hill. I loved it. I loved Davenport. And I think I'm supposed to, I forgot about that. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm here. Could you hear me before? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we just couldn't see you.
Okay, thanks. I forgot, I'm the blind person. I need prompts. Anyway, I was just saying thanks to you guys for coming out today and for just giving us a little bit of an ear. As an artist, we work alone. I know I do. I live alone. I work alone. And it's kind of a lonely life. But in that, I believe that God can connect with people differently. I think that's why artists and musicians often have maybe we kind of bend the ear of God and he bends our ear a little bit. I want to thank my family. My children were with me when I was at St. Ambrose, and they were very supportive. They understood that Mom needed to go to school. They were very patient with me. I was in the choir at St. Ambrose, and David Rael was the choir director at that time. It was very demanding, and so we had lots of rehearsals and had a music scholarship. So I did that for about a year and a half. I was at Ambrose for 3 years. I decided I needed to get in and finish up. While I was there, I realized that even a blind person could complete the program. I was really nervous about going to college, to be honest with you guys. I was just terrified because I couldn't read the blackboard, and teachers would forget sometimes and forget to enlarge the print. There's a lot of bad Xerox. That was back in the day. And things are easier now for teachers who have disabled students. I myself, at the college where I'm the chair and a teacher, also an instructor, professor, I also have disabled students. So I have to remember to be really sensitive. I had some really good teachers at St. Ambrose. I wanted to call a few of their names out. And one of them is Sandy Tiggis. She was my English teacher. And that was the first time I'd ever seen a totally blind person with a cane walking around campus. Roseanne Cook was her friend, and she was in the English department. They came to my art shows, to my house. They educated me not just about art education and working in the community and working for blind people, but also they educated me about just being a person and helped me understand how to maneuver the world of politics as not just a legally blind person, but also as an African-American person. And so Sandy told me about the American Council for the Blind and National Federation of the Blind and encouraged me to apply for scholarships. And I did get one. And they sent us to Chicago it was a competition for National Federation of the Blind. And I won a scholarship there for a master's program. And I ended up being accepted at the Art Institute in Chicago, where I worked on my master's in art therapy. That was extremely challenging in many ways. Number one, getting around the city itself. I grew up in Chicago, but I hadn't been there for years, and I had 3 children to worry about, so it wasn't just me. I had to concern myself with my children's safety. So, it was a real challenge, but it was a wonderful experience, like St. Ambrose. I didn't just learn about school, not just great teachers, but I learned about life, more about myself, more about the world. And then I became a therapist and worked in Chicago at the University of Chicago, and then came back to the Quad Cities, and I ended up at the Robert Young Center, which used to be Franciscan, and then they merged and we became Trinity. So I was at Trinity for 6 years, and in Chicago I was there for 3 years, including my internship, and then including the entire schooling, I was there for 5 years. So I worked as an art therapist for 10 years. That was a major part of my life, working both psychiatric and medical, and also med psych. And in Chicago, I went back after the University of Mississippi, where I got my master's in fine art and painting. I went back to Chicago and worked in the school system, in the hood. I'll just say it that way because it's the truth. It was rough. And I worked inside the schools to help students who were struggling with self-esteem issues. We also worked with young people who were involved with gangs and what they called at that time at-risk youth. And every year these kids, we got them ready to go with rites of passage to Africa. And they would go to Ghana every year and spend time in Africa every summer. I want to give a shout out to a few other people from St. Ambrose, because Ambrose was my first mama, as we call it in our community. She was my mama. She got me on the path to learn that I could do it. I was I was nervous. I ended up with I think a 3.8 and an honors club or whatever, honors society, fraternity at St. Ambrose. But teachers like Les Bell, he was outstanding because he wasn't just, again, a teacher, a professor of the arts. He was an artist. That makes a difference. And I try to be a lot like Les when I'm teaching. I try to really help the students understand it's bigger. You're connected on so many levels when you're an artist. You're dealing with the community. You're dealing with the school itself. If you're an administrator, you're dealing with the other professors and teachers. I'm an administrator. So it's very demanding. But all that being said, you still have to make that relationship with the students. Les did a great job with that. He helped me to become I feel a very confident photographer, and understand that is a part of the fine arts, and also watercolor. His cohort, Mr. Schmidt, John Schmidt, he was an amazing watercolor teacher. Tom Chuteau, Daddy Chuteau, he was amazing. I had a great experience. And then I'm also a religious person. I'm a Christian, and Father Stratman is something about, I don't know if you guys remember Father Stratman. He was a little deaf. I was a little blind, I used to go to his room and we'd talk, and he loved the fact that I understood the Bible. We talked for hours about everything. He couldn't believe it. He's like, I can't believe it. I was 28 years old. He's like, wow, you're really into this. I said, I love it. I love it because as an artist, I really feel connected to God. I believe we all have a mission. And if the earlier you can find it, your passion, the better. I'm not going to go on for days, but I really wanted to talk about Sandy, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Chateau, Les Bell, and also Chris Reno, you and Renee. Renee and I go, now Heinrich, used to be Renee Boucher. We go way back. We went to high school together at Art Institute. At Davenport Central. And we also met in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Renee and I have probably known each other over 30 years, maybe 35 years. And Renee is an amazing person. She has a huge heart. I love you, Renee. I think you're out there. I couldn't read all the names on the side. But I just love you, Renee. And thank you for inviting me to do the art show this year. in Galvin. That meant so much to see you and meet Chris. And through you guys, I met Mindy. David Baker and I were in Spanish class. David Baker from KLA. We were in Spanish class together at St. Ambrose. He's David. I'm Rosalinda. You know, I mean, I could go on for days, seriously, because I absolutely adore St. Ambrose. My sister went there. Miss Sherlock. You guys might not remember Elder Sherlock. She used to work in the kitchen there. She was my mom's friend. It was just, Ambrose means so much to me. I'm just going to hold up my award and say thank you to my family and my friends. You guys gonna make me cry. You really you set me on the right path. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations to both Dylan and Rosalind. Really impressive. And finally, we're going to turn it over to the College of Business Alumni Awards. Maritza?
Thank you, Anne. I'm Marisa Espina, and Dean of the College of Business. The College of Business prepares students to build success in a global context for themselves, their organizations, and the communities where they live. Our programs have recently been updated, and new technologies have been integrated with an emphasis on real-world experience and tested theory. Our alumni are prepared to be dynamic and flexible with a focus on collaboration and creating change. On behalf of the faculty, the staff of the College of Business, it is my privilege to recognize two Alumni Award recipients today. I would like to introduce Michael Cipriano, Associate Professor of Accounting, and David O'Connell, Professor of Management, who will present the awards today. Mike.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm honored to be introducing Ryan Weber today as he receives a Distinguished Alumni Award. Ryan's accomplishments within RSM, where he currently functions as the office managing partner in their Davenport practice, and in the community, especially with junior achievement, have been impactful in ways that have improved the lives of his staff, his clients, and children throughout the Quad Cities. Today, I'm going to embarrass him a bit by telling you all that I've been working on placing students with employers for nearly 20 years, and Ryan is the best partner I've ever had in that endeavor. The word partner because I believe it's essential that employers and faculty work in partnership to ensure, I'm getting choked up, Ryan, to ensure that students are being taught relevant content and that students find the right fit for internships and full-time employment. It requires the employer partner to be on campus more than he probably can afford to be, given his other duties. It requires the employer partner to be willing to collaborate with faculty on nighttime events, daytime events, in-class presentations, and mentorship programs. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't require much of the faculty at all, thank God. Ryan's on campus either live or virtually as much as any human resources person or recruiter, and he is a practice leader with a huge list of clients. That's just unheard of. I guess unheard of anywhere but here. Ryan's done so much for our students and for me personally by always being willing to share his honest opinions, be beyond generous with his time, and always find a way to somehow do what's best for his firm, our students, and our growing accounting program. Ryan, it's an honor to have you here today to accept this well-deserved award.
Well, thank you, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. Mike, I really appreciate the kind words. Faculty and staff like you that are committed to the success of our students not only makes it easy for us employers and alums, but it also makes our experiences on campus so much more enjoyable and rewarding. Thank you for all you do for our young people. I'd like to start by congratulating all the other honorees here today. I am extremely honored and humbled to be part of this group. I would like to begin with some thank yous. I would like to thank my mother, Jean, and my late father, Vern. They made many personal sacrifices to make it possible for me to be a first-generation St. Ambrose student. They taught me not only about the importance of a strong work ethic, but finishing what you start, no matter what obstacles you face. I would like to thank my wife, Laura, my daughter, Avery, and son, Sam, They allow me to pursue my passions both at work and in the community and support me every step along the way. I'd like to thank Coach Ray Shovlin at St. Ambrose for introducing me to the university and allowing me to be part of something bigger than myself. I was most definitely not the strongest, fastest, or even close to the best athlete, but I was given a chance to be part of a team and learn lessons that I will take with me forever. One of the many lessons I learned was the importance of paying it forward. I quickly learned that to those whom much is given, much is expected. Thank you to the accounting and business college faculty for allowing me, or not allowing me, to give up on myself and the major, and to keep pushing forward when the coursework got difficult. Lastly, I would like to thank fellow St. Ambrose alum Bill McDonald. Some of you may know Bill. He was a former partner at RSM, and he hired me into RSM. All the campus recruiting that Mike just mentioned, that was Bill's role one day. He was willing to take a chance on me and give me a start in this challenging and rewarding career. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm so thankful for the relationships I've built with my colleagues, friends at RSM, and clients, including some that are on the call here today. At the time I was exploring college opportunities, I was an extreme, almost painful introvert and really uncertain about what university life meant as a first-generation student. Therefore, it was very important for me to find a university setting where I would find the resources needed to help me grow and mature professionally and personally in an environment that was supportive and welcoming. I needed that environment to gain confidence and to find myself and grow into a leader. I found it all at St. Ambrose. After graduation, I found the same caring culture at RSM and owe so much of my personal and professional development to my colleagues and mentors at RSM. As you've heard me mention a few times today, many different people were willing to take a chance on me and give me opportunities. They were supportive and encouraging. Sometimes I'm asked, why do I spend so much time in recruiting activities on campus or volunteering at Junior Achievement, for example? The answer is quite simple. Someone did the same for me in terms of taking a chance on me and giving me opportunities. So it's my duty to pay it forward. And also, it's just the Ambrose way. Thank you once again to the university and the College of Business for this recognition today. I am truly honored and humbled to be in such great company. Thank you once again, and enjoy homecoming weekend.
It's my pleasure to introduce one of our Alumni Award recipients, Dr. Dick Kleine. Dick earned his industrial engineering degree from St. Louis University, his MBA from the University of Iowa while working at John Deere, and his doctorate in business administration from St. Ambrose University after his retirement from John Deere. Dick had a wonderful 38-year career with John Deere, where he held a number of engineering and management positions, including general manager of the Hay and Forge division in Ottumwa, and general manager of the harvesting, seeding, and cylinder divisions. And he led those divisions in extensive restructuring and change, which significantly improved quality, customer and employee satisfaction, cycle time, and profitability. He was named vice president for quality for John Deere Corporation, where he facilitated the Corporate Quality Council. Halfway through his career, Dick changed his management approach to a more participative style that engaged employees, gaining satisfaction in their contributions to the organization's success. I remember when I first met Dick several years ago that he talked about his career in retirement. I don't think he used that term exactly, but I remember him sharing that he saw seasons of a person's life, a time to learn, a time to earn, and a time to return. And return, he has been doing. He's an unwavering civic contributor, currently serving on 7 boards in the Quad Cities. Dick believes in the joy of giving, knowing that God gives back manifold everything that people give in time, talent, and treasure. We at St. Ambrose are especially blessed by his generosity and selfless service as an outstanding graduate student, in his service on the College of Business Advisory Council, and in his ongoing support of faculty and students in the College of Business. It's my privilege to congratulate and introduce Dr. Dick Kleine.
Thank you very much for your comments. It's been a real pleasure, and I want to say thank you very much for my recognition. It was so kind of all of you. I enjoyed receiving my DBA from the university, and I got it after my retirement from John Deere after 38 years. I so enjoyed being a member of the DBA program, and there were excellent people that taught the program. And one of the people who just gave the presentation here, he taught it, and then we have another person, Monica Ferret, Dr. Monica Ferret, who heads up the DBA program. So they're very fine. I also enjoyed being a member of the Business School Advisory Council, and we met yesterday here in this building. And then after the meeting, we went on a tour of the building, and it's just amazing, the classrooms here for the business school. They're just really, really nice and really different. Each classroom is different. And I think it's going to help St. Ambrose University expand the business school just because of the facility that we have here. I also want to mention Dr. Joan, Sister Joan Lasinski, who's been here 13 years heading up the whole school. And she's going to be retiring in a year. She's done a wonderful job with the school, and I'd like to thank her for all that she's done. But thank you very much for everything, and thank you for the award. I really appreciate it.
My name's Thomas Mason, and the fourth, and I serve as the president of the Alumni Association. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the impressive group of Alumni Award recipients. You're an inspiration to us. As a reminder, we have additional homecoming activities are still occurring throughout the weekend. You can visit www.sau.edu homecoming to get the details. In addition, more alumni events and volunteer opportunities are listed on our website at www.sau.edu/alumni. That will conclude our awards ceremony. We want to thank all of you again for joining us today.